Hey everyone, this is Heiss, and welcome to another episode of my Railroads Online playthrough. This time, we're going to run up the 2% line up to the iron ore mine that we laid in episode 5, but that's not me talking in the video. I'm running the class 70, and the conductor in the video is none other than kAN Gaming, who's joining us to learn about the 2% along the way. Let's go check it out.
Oh, here comes Heiss. That's great. What's up, Heiss? Nice. That's a class 70 tender. Yeah, that's a wrath of. That's amazing. Nice engine.
Well, you named one for me on your railroad, so I figured that the good old ES&D could have one for you. So meet the wrath of kAN.
You could actually write ES&D. I'm just saying, you don't have to write out the full name every time, but. You know,
all the cars get lettered with the ES&D, and then the rest of it. I mean, the font work and the scroll work, it's so pretty that Armagon spent so much time making these beautiful drop shadows, and why not just have a little fun with them? That's one of the best things, right?
I'm just gonna focus on this text right here. This is nice. This is good text.
It is great text.
Anyway, one of the things I get mentioned a lot. It's happened in a lot of videos. I've spent a lot of time working on my iron mine route. And a lot of people have been complaining that, like, it's 3%, it's 4%. I should have made the whole thing like 1 or 2%, And apparently you've actually done that.
Yeah, so I think your viewers are wrong, and you're right, and you should have done it 3 or to 4%, because, I did mine at 2%. I think there's a brief section of 2.5 that just came about because I was fixing bad track, but it's 2 to 2.5, almost all 2%. Overall, and you'll see it is extremely long. I mean, it's quite the run. Don't mind that.
I love the care you put into storing your cars. It's so nice.
That car ES&D'd. Okay, it's good.
Yeah, and it's just like it's like it wants to be part of the train. You could tell, like it's hooked up on both sides. It just it just somehow got off in the. That's amazing.
So I put these little earth bump stops at the back, and we came in a little too hot, and that's what happens. So. Yeah.
Fantastic. In case people are wondering, you kind of went a little robot-y there. That's because there's currently a freaking blizzard outside my house. So if I randomly get disconnected, that's what the deal is. I just figured I'd mention it now in case you have more robot moments. It's definitely not your fault. The weather here just currently sucks.
Domo arigato.
Yeah.
All right.
You're actually like kind of part robot there. That's fantastic. It's
beautiful.
So appropriate.
All right. Well, you ready to check this out?
Yeah. So this is a loaded train.
This
you
is
got spec sheet for this?
Yeah, so this is 5 empty hoppers, 2 loaded lumber cars, 1 loaded beam car, and then a caboose. And I want to say, when I did the math on it, this gives you like something like 4% clearance. So
right,
we're just gonna.
We're moving.
We're moving. Yeah, I'm good at it. It's on the flat here. We get about 1.5% climbing out next to the yard lead here, which is on the right. And then it's going to be 2.25% until we get to the world's worst train set curve, and then it's going to be about 2% most of the way. And it's a bit of a long haul.
This is we're at the Smelter, and we've started the climb, and it'll just climb the whole way to the iron mine from here. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, so Smelter floor to the iron mine, and the reason I did it this way is in my previous series and my previous runs, I'd made a really short but steep, like 4 to 5% run, and I wanted to show everyone as a developer how I would attack the other problem of doing, I want to run longer trains with lower power, which is why we're running the Eureka. Good old gutless here.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
My internet was like you were like a robot, and then my internet just like the Eureka just did like a triple backflip and landed back on the track. It made me okay. Yeah, we're good. Oh my god. Ooh, that was crazy. You're
gonna get the entertaining run through, I think. Well, I'll get the one that actually works.
It's super smooth until it wasn't, and then it's back to being super smooth. That was insane. That made me.
Funny.
I honestly freaked out. Oh, sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, so, I wanted to solve the age-old railroad question of you want to keep the ruling grade as low as you can so you can run the longest trains with the lightest power. Obviously, that's why we've got the Eureka, and we're going up to 2.25%, and we're slowly slowing down, so we're almost to the top of that, so we should make it, but We're
You're
running.
100% reg right now?
I'm 100. We're right on the margin, man. I mean, this thing is
Oh, boy.
not a lot of tractive effort. So, but this train set curve we're about to turn back on. This is kind of where it levels off for a brief bit, and we'll pick up some speed before you get back on the 2%. But
Since I'm an ignoramus when it comes to train, what's a train set curve? Do you mean like a model railroad?
Yeah, so that's my joke for really bad sharp curves. I mean, this is a very, very sharp curve. And typically at like every kids train set you get, the curves that they come with are so ridiculous. Like,
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
And it
Also
literally
have trains
looks
that
like
usually
it.
only
So.
have 4 wheels though, without bogies or anything. I'm just,
Precisely.
I had one of those like the wooden train sets, where it's like the train is like really just like a car, and you just fling it down around the wooden tracks. But like whenever it came time to play with the toys, everyone was always fighting over playing with the wooden train set. That was the best toy to have.
Right. Exactly.
At least my generation. I just probably dated myself. Now I'm just really old.
Hey, I had the wooden train sets too, but I'm also really old compared to a lot of people anyway. So.
Yeah, we had a train room growing up. My dad had taken a room in the basement, and he had made a model HO train set for us, and it had like 2 tracks that you could run with 2 different like electrical hookups, because I had a brother, and so he gave us this. It was basically just 2 loops that went around like this one table.
That's still super fun though.
Yeah, oh yeah. When you're a kid, man, model trains are like the best,
Indeed.
But it wasn't really our project because we didn't, we were too young to really contribute anything to the model railroad,
Well, of course, yeah. That if you're like really getting after it, there's a lot of skills that go into that. Yeah. All right, now we're across my dev bridge that hopefully Peyton approves of. I've yet to have him come take a look at it, but it was the one bridge I've actually really tried hard to make look nice. Because if you haven't noticed on my right-of-ways, I don't spend a lot of time making things look nice. I try to make them function more or less. Which also is not a given.
I definitely didn't notice with the giant dam of foundation that blocks this valley off coming up.
Well, So, I said it was the one bridge previous that I went to look nice, and in my last episode I put on my own playthrough, I said I'd come back and fix that bridge, and you can see that I have not done that.
Yeah. No, it's good. If you made it any lower, you could actually block the river and then put an actual like hydro dam in here, generate some electricity, start running some electric trains,
You've got a lucrative business model that you're kind of teaching me up on.
That you guys are just missing out on. Why can't I dam the river, and
make man-made lakes, man. We could just get boats to float this stuff. Yeah. So you can see the iron mine's up ahead, and you can see we have a big trestle up on our right. And then another one up on our left. So we're about to do a bunch of crisscrosses through all this madness just to make it up there at a 2%. That's it. I mean, it's just so long. And we're coming up to my first heist, you idiot. Why did you lay the track like that? The track used to go on those groundworks that are on the left, and I had to just bridge over it because the amount of time I tried to spend re-railing stuff in there, it was like, you know what? We're just gonna bypass that.
Do the stone wall lips have like the little lip of the wall? Does it have collision at all?
They do not. You could totally lay like right through them. Yeah.
Okay, I just noticed you had all the overlapping there, and that always scares me. Like, oh no, I'm gonna, my train's gonna clip it, and
it certainly looks that way, but yeah, it's not the case.
That's good.
So I've got the math pulled up. So we have 149,538 pounds behind us, and we have 11% clearance. So the maximum estimated grade was 2.21%, and we almost didn't make it up to 2.25. So that's how razor thin we were earlier. And we do have a stretch of 2.5%. On that right side across the canyon from us that we'll have to get to. So
we still have to go all the way around the canyon and then go back up and then loop around and then come back again.
Yep, you can see the other reverse loop is up on our left. That's almost at the peak. So we're literally going to go across the canyon walls twice, because this is to make this large of an elevation change. That's what you have to do. And so I understand a lot of folks do a 2% line from the sawmill or the freight depot to the iron mine, and that works. But I was trying to do the commodity flow as it makes sense. I want to bring the iron direct to the smelter and not have to worry about.
Yeah, if you go from like, you still have to get from the smelter to the sawmill then, and then you have to go from the sawmill to the iron mine. Like you're still doing a huge.
Yeah.
The elevation change is still the same. It's just a.
I'm just trying to do it in the flow of. Don't pay attention to that.
This
That's
abstract
nothing.
art piece.
That is an
over here,
art piece. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
That is one of my patented surveying trestle helixes.
Oh, okay.
I got to this height and I thought I was right at the iron mine, but I couldn't see it. So I built a trestle out into the trees and then I spun it around to see where I was going. And then realized that the iron mine's still like another 100 feet higher or whatever. So,
Nice.
Yeah, but I went to try and delete it, and for whatever reason, I can't get those last two pieces to delete, so it's just a bit of modern art. So
See, I find this is such an interesting thing. You've made this huge, long 2% run, right?
Yep.
So if we had like a Cook Mogul, we could do this same load with like 3 or 4% probably.
Yeah,
Right?
probably. Yeah.
And let's do the math on how much time it takes for you to make the Cook Mogul in the number of extra runs you could do with the Cook Mogul versus the Eureka. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're taking 5 times as long to do a run when really you could just use a slightly bigger, more expensive engine and get the same result. It's not as fun. I understand that.
There is a reason that the railroads and the narrow gauge railroads actually had like 4 or 5% grades. I mean, yet
Right.
one of the existing sections of the Denver and Rio Grande Western, which was like the big narrow gauge railroad that we talk about, most of their engines on the tech tree and whatever. One of the existing sections that's still around that is a tourist railroad you can ride, the Cumbrace and Toltec, up Cumbrace Pass, which is the tallest railroad pass in the United States at 10,020 feet. The grade out of Chama to get to Cumbrace Pass is 4 to 5% for 15 solid miles. And that's what they had to do. That was what the railroad needed to be. And guess what? They ran 2, 3, whatever engine trains up and over that. And they built that in 1880. So Class 70s were running on that. I mean, the Class 70 that I've operated, or the modern one, C19, number 346, it was originally the 406 named Cumbrace for that mountain, and there's pictures of it when it got delivered and it ran over that pass for the first time. So 4% grade was not a big deal even in 1880, you know, so...
So I was looking up some mountain trains the other day just for curiosity's sake, right? And I saw some that like, oh my, did we?
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
we're on.
No,
right?
I know that spot's a bad spot, so I backed
looks
off.
Like it looks like we derailed there for a second. Okay.
The tender did try to do a couple skateboard tricks, even on my
Yeah.
end, so...
Okay. I wasn't sure. Oof. Man, my internet being sketchy just makes this such a more rewarding experience.
You
Just
don't know
can't tell.
what's bad track
Yeah,
and what's bad
what's
internet.
happening. Crazy that we were way down there though before. Like we're way up here now. This is nuts.
Right?
What
Yeah.
a view.
I definitely want to do a bypass at some point that's 4% when I get a little bit more motive power. Obviously, I have the Wrath of Khan now, so I do have a fair bit more power, but I want to get a second big engine, and then I think I'll feel better about doing lots of 4% runs. This is the 2.5%, so you can see we're bogging down, but once we get up just to this bit of
We're
groundwork,
also on
we're
like
almost there.
the world's second sharpest corner right now, which is probably not.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy through there, but I had to turn the whole thing around in Dogbone, and I didn't want to have a massive trestle doing it, so...
It looked like you started building the trestle radius. You're like, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Oh my God, there's a mountain we have to turn now, and then...
Yeah, that's actually my thought process. That's actually what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked very much like that. No, anyway, I was saying I was looking up some mountain trains like just for curiosity's sake, and I saw some like 10-15% looking lines, but they had like gear teeth on the train wheels, and then like there was gear teeth along the side of the track. You know what I mean? Like a linear gear.
Yeah, that's called a rack railroad, and they weren't super common, but yeah, they do exist. There's one in Pikes Peak in Colorado. There's the Mount Washington up towards Vermont somewhere, I think. But yeah, they have grades up to like 35% because they don't drive the wheels. The wheels are unpowered. They are just pulled up by the cog, and then the wheels are just there to support it.
Those are special locomotives then for that? It's not like a standard...
No, they're not standard at all. I mean, even the steam engines that they have at Mount Washington and the old ones for the cog at Pikes Peak, they're built with the boiler slanted. So when they're on flat track, the boiler's aimed down. so that when they're going up the 15, 20, 30% grade, the boiler's relatively flat so that you don't have to carry the water ridiculously high to make sure you don't explode.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're a neat piece of engineering. There's even really crazy ones over in Switzerland where they had multiple engine sets on steam engines that they could engage or disengage for rack, railroad, or for standard railroad. So they had two engine sets, two sets of cylinders and rods built in the same engine so that, when they got to the steep bit of the railway, they could plunk it down and run with the gear teeth instead of the wheels.
Right. I thought we were almost there, and then I realized we have to double back again.
Yep, yeah, so I was so crushed. I got to, right here, and I was like, dude, I'm almost there. I'm going to be able to, do maybe a short section, a 2.5, and we'll have it. And I started trying to lay down from that upper ridge just barely above us. And even to get back to the rest of the 2.5% where we were coming around earlier, it was 5%. And it's like...
I mean, it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. If 2% means if you want to go up 2 feet, you need to go out 100 feet, right?
Yeah,
so it's here we're going up 30 feet maybe? So that means you need at least another 600 feet of track just to get up that 30 feet, right? It's ridiculous.
That is the way that the civil engineering cookie crumbles.
Yep. I always whenever I'm laying rail in this game, I always find it so depressing when you're oh, I'm so close. Look at how close it is. And then you start building down. You're what? This is 5% and it's still miles above the point you need to get to.
Right. Yeah.
And you're just oh, well, guess we're looping more.
It's the whole science and things of railroads and trains and train operation is that there's no quick movement that gets done. There's no snappy, fast response. This isn't a thing with a lot of acceleration and horsepower. You make a slow movement when you're going to brake or going to accelerate with a train, and you make slow transitions with your grades and your curves. Unless you're on the ES&D, in which case we have problems. But, So this
I can just jump over here. Oh no, I can't.
Well, I mean, if you can get up there, yeah. So
but oh god, I made a mistake.
Bye, kAN. Bye.
I'm coming back. I'll be okay.
You'll be able to pick us up when we go on the ground right here. I've got some weird issue right at this curve that likes to send Eureka's tender flying, so we're gonna go walking speed through this.
Interesting.
Okay. Knock on wood. All okay. All right. Happy. Okay. All right. We made it. That's
I had that
first.
the other day with Dapper when we were driving on the server he plays on, and we were going, and it seemed like a really shallow curve, and it just yeeted all a couple rail cars off for no reason. I mean, we're going quick, but it was very weird.
Yeah. So I think part of that is related to the way the physics is done, and the faster you go, and particularly depending on your connection, the more likely you are to have a weird calculation happen, particularly when you're going through an S curve or a sudden change in curvature. So
the rail could go through the wheel could go through the rail or something before it has time to calculate the physics or whatever.
And that's also why our top speed is capped right now at about whatever it is, 17 miles an hour. But those are the kinds of fixes we're working on right now. So we should.
So that is a hard cap on top speed. There is a engine should
there
be able
is
to go faster.
The locomotives cannot accelerate faster than 17 except the climax, which is 14 or something like that miles an hour. Unless you go downhill, you can get going faster if you have the gravity assist, but just innately by the locomotives themselves you won't. So and there we are. We're finally here.
The entire trip for me has been how much robot does Heist sound like? I'm gonna say it again. There's a blizzard outside my house, which affects my internet quality for some reason. But I know that it's been there'd be 30 seconds where it's oh, it's so crystal clear. I can hear everything now, and then all of a sudden it was but you can kind of hear what's going on. It's a very interesting experience.
Yep, and so you can see that even on my own level, I didn't follow the ratio either. It wasn't just a mess up that I did on your save. So
you didn't even bring the right ratio to fix this, though.
Yeah, so I didn't remember what I had up here. So
you brought 12 lumber, which is perfect, and then you only brought 3 beams, which is 9 and 12. It's still not gonna fix it.
Yeah, well, so we had another car of beams, and I had some of my friends from the railroad help me run the trains, and it worked great for the first little bit until they didn't know my railroad that well, and the one-car beams ended up flying upside down the canyon that we were in earlier. So,
one car of beams went flying down the canyon.
It did. Rest in peace, that car. And
you just delete those cars. I've deleted many cars that have gone flying down canyons.
We thought about it. We in the re-railing effort, there was a key that was pressed, and then the cargo fell down the canyon, separate the cars. So.
Oh, perfect.
That would be why it didn't come with us. It got added to the empty stack.
This is the temptation. If you do not unload this, right, then your ratio is perfect.
Oh, but I could go to easy mode now, couldn't I?
Oh, that's right. There's a difficulty setting for that.
I could cheese it. No, hang on. How do we have one? We've got 0 lumber, and now we've got 1 beam.
No, 0 beam.
Oh, no, it's 0. Okay, it hadn't used it yet.
I'm saying you're perfect. You're at the perfect ratio
I could build a firewood depot, and we could just forget about it. Or chaotic evil. And look, the beams are unloaded. Yay!
Oh no! I can't believe you did that. The ratio is off again. It's so funny. I try so hard to keep perfect ratios in the industry, and I don't think it's been there once. I think I'm always just like screwing up the ratio.
Right. I live and die by the railroad. And the way that the railroad works. I worked for Class 1 railroad in the United States for enough years to know that the reality is never perfect, and you're always trying to fix your screw-ups and come up with new inventive solutions. So when, you end up with cars out of order and numbers not in the right place and ratios that are off, and you gotta pivot to make it right, it just feels more authentic to the railroad. And that's not just an excuse for me being bad at the game, I swear.
Well, that was actually pretty quick. So I think there's only one thing left to do, and that's just send it at full speed down the railway. I'm
saving. Let's do it.
Yeah,
this is always a good time.
I feel like we're gonna make it. This is only 2%. I mean, you have some gnarly.
Oh, there's train set curves. It's gonna happen. We'll probably go off at the first turn back if I'm gonna be a guessing man. Be a deer and grab the switch, and I'll chase you down.
Yeah. Well, I really hope people aren't upset about my terrible internet, because oh my god, sometimes your voice just becomes the world's craziest.
Well, they'll just have to come over and watch my POV on my channel, and and they'll be able to hear me all in my glory. Did you throw the switch? You didn't throw the switch.
I threw the switch.
Either your internet or the switch threw back.
I swear to God, I saw the animation of the switch, it moved on my screen.
That's a piss test, kAN. Pee in a cup.
It literally moved on my screen.
How far did they make it, viewers? Well, about 5 feet.
Yeah, we didn't even leave the station. All right, reload!
Yahoo!
Dude, I threw the switch, and it even showed the animation on my screen, and then I turn around and the switch isn't thrown, and you're like, oh, it derailed. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, so I saw the animation start on my end, the target started to move, and I don't know if you flipped it back or if the internet thought you flipped it back or whatever, but yeah, it came right back.
No, I flipped it and then walked away. I just flick and walk away. I've done that motion 6 million times,
Right, but there it is. We got to come over to the edge of the cliff here and take in the view and pick which curve we're gonna die on. Take our bets.
The one on the first one.
It's probably gonna be that first one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, round 2.
Take 2. Let's do it.
We're gonna make it further this time. I promise. Listen, I took the Betsy at full speed down my route from the iron mine, and it made it no problem. The Porter is unbelievable.
It tracks quite well. The Eureka, yeah, I don't know. I bet the Porter would do it on this railroad even, but my money is that we're going to bin it at turn 1, basically, at the top of the hill here. So.
But the cars will survive. Did you already lose it?
It's string-lined. It's string-lined back over here.
Oh, my God. I didn't even you couldn't even see it. Oh my god, bro, yeah, that's so much. Damn it.
The whole thing's string-lined over here.
It wasn't just one, it was all of them.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, we still have 1.5 vaguely on the track, so I don't know, we could try and...
take 3.
We're
reload,
going.
It's quick.
Oh, we can reload.
Reload.
Okay, I'm going to ever so gingerly crawl through this turn
Oh, you didn't do the thingy where you gotta go like, take 3, you know, with the clapper
that's
thingy,
right.
the scene 3
Take
episode.
3.
Yeah.
Take 3.
I flipped the switch.
All right, we flipped the switch. I've not yet. Oh my God! No!
Nope,
Stop it! Cars! This curve. All right,
Did
we
you
have.
just do it again. Oh my God! Look
I
at
lost
this guy.
half the train. We have four hopper cars.
All right, you know we're just gonna do it. We can't do it more times than 3. That's just embarrassing.
That's just the rule. Those cars have ES&D as it were, so we're just gonna go with it.
I feel like ES&D though, like, you know, the designers of this railroad, they seem to blame everything on everyone else, but yet make these, as you said, train set curves. So I'm very confused about, you know, the naming of this railroad. It seems like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, that may be part of the joke, perhaps. I think.
I see. Yes.
All right. So my money is on, if not this curve, the curve right before the bridge.
I think the cars will make it though.
The cars might make it. They really might. The Eureka's gonna throw itself off, and we'll have to see if the links do it. I don't know.
Oh
my God!
Oh, the tender wanted to.
I would be pooping myself
if
if I was actually doing this.
Oh, it's the third one was like up on 2 there. Oh man!
How did we not go off right there? Oh, the tender
is still bouncing. Look at them all bounce. It's so crazy.
They're bouncing on my end too. That is not just the connection. Like I'm almost losing them.
They're still alive though. This is nuts.
All right, I'm not gonna make this I'm gonna get out and we can just watch this together from the back. Make sure that there's no controversy here. We are genuinely sending this railroad or this train down the railroad driverless.
I can't believe it survived those curves. Look at this.
Okay.
That one was nearly as sketchy though. That last one, every car up on like 4 trucks, whatever. It's the sides, you know, like
a little spicy. Yeah.
Yeah. That was crazy.
So it'll probably make it through here. It'll probably back by the 2.5%, the last turnback bridge. Right before that, so there's a couple spicy boys.
What if you made a foundation, like concrete wall foundation that hugged the rail? Would it keep the train upright with the physics, or would it just like still dive through it?
I mean, if we updated the train hitboxes a little bit better, you possibly could do that.
And just have your train go way too fast down this like super narrow passageway
that would be
forces
great.
it to stay upright.
That's the way to do it. Just the steepest grade.
New meta.
The hitboxes are not 100% accurate, particularly on the locomotives, because with all the moving different pieces and trying to fit the player model through and everything, we had so many problems, like so many random crashes, issues, weird things, that it was just easier to really simplify the hitboxes. So I know a lot of folks are like clamoring for like, we want better hitboxes to put sand in, but you really don't even need sand right now. So
yeah,
we'll get there. Bear with us.
Like, I get it. A lot of people, I've had some comments where people are like, oh, I don't like the fact that you can just jump through the boiler into the cab or whatever. But from playing the game, like it's kind of
oh, spicy.
Wow, we're still alive. That's insane.
I can't believe this.
Oh my God.
If we make it down to the bottom of this railroad, I'm going to post this video all over the. Oh, there it goes.
No, Never mind. That's the spicy quarter. That's okay. Hold on.
Yep.
Hold on. Let's just get rid of this stuff. Let's just get this off.
Bye Eureka.
I guess we can delete it. That's right, can't we?
we can delete it. I've already saved, and we're not going to save over it, so we can delete poor Putis.
Bye Putis. Let me demolish poor Putis.
Oh well, it can just go down that way. We'll chase
it'll just go in reverse. We're good. Yeah.
Bye Putis.
Oh, our back car is derailed as well, so we gotta just disconnect that.
Well, yeah, we'll just break that link real quick. Dunk.
All
right, now go, fly, you fools.
Go. We got a situation here.
You gonna roll? Is this too tight of a corner for it? There we go.
I just broke the link and reattached the link and it like updated the physics.
Sometimes that'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
there's a couple weird nuances with the way that the cars go to sleep and wake up, quote unquote, so that the performance isn't ridiculously bad when you have a bunch of cars. That,
you don't want parked
sometimes
cars
they don't.
calculating physics if you're not touching them. Like, what's the point?
Yeah. So sometimes it can be weird to get physics initiated there, but they should roll on their own, but sometimes they don't. It looks like Pootis is still on the rails, which is
it? I can't
hilarious.
see it at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't see it. So I've got the sniper look. It's still on the rails for now, and it might make it. I don't know.
It has no tender now, so it's kind of. I see the
not...
doors. Here's the doors of Pootis. We're passing the doors.
That's one of my favorite dumb glitches. Like, what random bit of animated locomotive will we pass next?
Yeah, random, like the whistle, or not the whistle, the bell. The bell
yeah.
is very commonly found.
Or the headlight side inspection doors or all that fun stuff. Yeah, so I don't know. It might make it all the way because it's kind of a free bird with no constraints other than its own 2 points anymore. Because a lot of the derailments actually on curves come from the fact that you end up hitting hitboxes, car to car with the couplers. So
it's kind of actually amazing. Your line, like I did a gravity run from the iron mine down to the smelter on my world, but my line has like flat sections, right? And it has some uphill sections, so you have to really manage your brakes. Like if you overbrake, you'll get stuck in a little valley. But yours is like, you could literally just let these go on their own forever and you'd be perfect.
Apparently, yeah, just the rolling resistance of a couple cars. I mean, obviously they're empty, which loads might be quite the different story, but empty cars seem to roll down this just like nice and easy, so.
I mean, you could put a little bit of brakes on the back car if you're running it with full loads, right? So
true, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it never goes back uphill. This is always downhill or slightly, close to flat at one segment. Yeah, but
I've noticed that the snowstorm is back outside.
The robots.
It was gone for a good 5 minutes. I think the snow let up. Now we're back into having the snowstorm.
Robo heist. Oh god, that's a kink in the track right there. That's garbage.
It's more like dial-up modem heist is what it sounds like. Like if you were trying to talk to me on the phone while there's a dial-up modem going, that's pretty much what it sounds like.
Oh lordy. Hey, Pootis is still on the track. It's on that bridge up ahead of us.
That's amazing. Such a wonderful experience. We didn't even bring it. We could have brought iron back. You realize we could have filled up and brought.
We could have, but we were planning to wreck it, and I have since deleted Pootis's tender.
That's
so
true.
We're no saves here
But
henceforth.
that's only like your first Eureka, bro. Like I've been.
Well, it's true.
Come on.
It's on my first in this playthrough. This is my fourth playthrough of the game, so it's probably my.
Oh, it's like COD. Why haven't you bought the climax? It's like because I bought 3 freaking Eurekas.
I haven't gotten there yet. Okay.
I've had to buy 3 Eurekas. Okay, no wonder I can't afford the climax.
Yet 3 Eurekas is still like less attractive effort than 1 climax.
Yeah, than 1 climax.
That's before you even take into account the weight and everything per the grades. So.
So I feel like I gotta do a roller coaster track at some point where you just ride in a single hopper car and buckle up, making some 10% sections.
That'll be glorious. That'll be really glorious. I think when we get the 2-axle rolling stock implemented.
Sir, I think we're
slowing down. This trestle's pretty much flat or close to flat, I think, because I couldn't figure out how to lay it on the grade continuous. But now we're back on the grade, so I think we'll keep rolling. We'll keep going.
That's crazy how much we slowed down on that. That was insane.
Rolling resistance of plane bearings is pretty significant.
Yeah.
And all sorts of stuff affects it. It's kind of hilarious. Like the old railroads had tonnage calculators for like if it was cold out. Like you had your bearing resistance and rolling resistance was different if it was like sub 30 degrees Fahrenheit, or if it was greater than 60 or something. You had 3 different ratings for them.
Right.
So.
On one end you'd have metal swelling, which would increase your friction because it's too hot.
Mm-hmm.
I would think. And then on the cold end you'd have like the lubricant being too viscous.
That exactly. Yeah, because the way that these plane bearings work is that the axle has a polished journal on the end of it, and then there's just a brass piece that rides on top of it with a contoured Babbitt face that rides on that, and then below there's what we call a pad or a sheep if you will. That's just a bunch of cotton waste or a dedicated like knit cotton pad that sits in an oil bath, and then as it heats up, the oil wicks and goes around the axle and keeps things moving. But it only starts, like, you only get lubrication after you've rolled once, so sometimes they don't want to roll right away, which is always funny. But
this is a really nice ride. This is very smooth.
Yeah,
you know?
this chunk is actually not so bad. Yeah, there was brief glimpses of sanity when it was a little easier terrain to lay the railroad in, like through here. But yeah, some of the cliff dwelling stuff is a little it's a little out there. Like this little chunk through here is not like a consistent grade because I wasn't entirely certain what I was gonna do. Because I'd never actually laid up that canyon before. I'd always done like totally different routes to the iron ore mine. Heck, you've played on my in one of your previous episodes. You played on my old iron ore mine when we did that physics test. We ran up that 3%.
We went up the pass or whatever over the mountain.
Yeah, and I think that was the stupidest route I've ever done in the iron ore mine. Although this might be stupider, honestly. The amount of time it takes to run up this.
It's a long. I mean, it's definitely slower going down for some reason. It's weird. We are actually like not that fast.
Right. Well, now
We're
we're on the 2 1/4,
hoppers.
so we're gonna roll nice and easy all the way into the yard. Now this is the 2 1/4 through here, and we've yet to encounter Pootis. So Pootis might just be, it'll probably hit a switch at the other end of the north end of the yard, and it'll probably derail itself right there.
It actually is going to pick up a load and go make $20 on its own.
It might.
Without us even knowing.
I was just thinking, that was funny. That engine we restored at the Railroad Museum, the 491, the reason that they put it out of service back in the...
Pootis doors
alert. There it is.
There's Pootis doors. Okay, continue.
The reason they took 491 out of service was actually because she went on a walk all by herself and dumped herself in the dirt at the other end of the yard. The throttle leaked so bad that it got machined wrong, and then the steam was just wearing away at it, that it was able to lift its snifters and just take off and just start putting through the yard all by itself. No engineer, no fireman, with the throttle
that would
handle.
only happen like once you've been like letting because obviously these engines aren't stored, like they're stored without any sort of boiler pressure, right? Like they would bleed all the pressure when you store it.
You either have them up or down, so you'd actually have them sitting outside ready to go, unless it was time for an inspection or something. So they'd actually be stored under steam, because it takes a long time to actually get them hot and everything. So,
right.
But normally the throttle seals, and in the case of 491, it didn't. And she went on a little adventure, ran over the derail device at the north end of the yard to protect, trains, from runaways out the yard. And exactly what happened to Pootis, as predicted, happened to 491. You'll probably see it in a couple seconds here.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
Although 491 didn't tip over. 491 just laid in the dirt and, sat there chuffing. So
the derail device, that's like where it lifts one wheel off the track, right? And then it just one side off the track.
It pretty much does the same thing as a switch set against you in the game. So it purposefully dumps you in the dirt so you don't go break things.
I don't know.
Or hurt
Are we
people.
gonna get? Oh yeah, no, we got dumped.
Yep, there we go. And
that would be a sweet gravity run, though. You could really smooth out a few of those corners, and that would be a wicked gravity run.
Indeed, I've got some streamlining to do for sure, but eventually we'll get there.
Yeah. Well, thanks for showing me the epic 2% run and reaffirming why I should never do it on my own save.
Yeah, I cannot recommend that unless you're only running the Eureka, in which case I still pity you. But get a bigger engine and
your
do
entire
it for real.
engine arsenal is just Eurekas, nothing else. You don't believe in any of the other engines, then definitely run a 2%. That's the moral of the story here.
And I the first time I ran up it, I even had to double. I built that passing track on that. I had to double the hill because Eureka couldn't pull, even however many cars it was. So, yeah, go 4%. Do it.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with the line that Peyton set up for me. I've actually really enjoyed it. It works out well, and I don't derail. But let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Of course, let us know if you have other ideas for Railroads Online. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Bye. This is all from the Switch momentum, dude. This is ridiculous.
It's kind of hilarious.